Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video, and this is another base kind of spots video. It is my top 10 PVE base spots over on the Extinction map, one of my favorite maps to play. I'm going to show you my top 10 favorite spots to build when I'm playing PVE or like 100 days or something just for fun. Now, the things you want to consider when you're looking for things on Extinction is location is everything. You want to figure out if there's an area that's nearby that you can use for resources. Do you have water nearby? Do you have a place that's safe to build? All kinds of different stuff. Now, this is one of the base spots that I almost always find myself in, whether I'm playing PvE, PvP, whatever I'm playing. And it's probably my favorite spot on almost any map, in all honesty. Now, here are the chords of it, just so you can see, and it's right here, basically on the corner of 45, like 45, on the, literally in the center of the city kind of thing. I'll get you the exact chords with a GPS right here. But it is probably my favorite spot. Now, the reason is because when you look at it on the map, it doesn't seem like much, but this area is very, very large. There's plenty of water here too, which you wouldn't expect to be so high up. It's literally right here, and it's deep enough to actually raise some very large tames, and terrifying because you can see straight down. But it's also got a ton of flat space, which is very difficult to acquire on any map in Ark, especially Extinction, so this is probably my favorite spot. I always end up building here. Now, it's not the best spot, I just like it a lot, so that's this one. So that's spot number 1. So I've got some teleporters here, and we're going to go ahead and go to our different spots here. Now, spot number 2, again, a little bit different. We're talking not by much, but just a little bit. So right in this area right here. So inside of the city still, underneath Greenob, is another really awesome spot. A flat area, water surrounds you with beaver dams all over the place, plenty of dinos to tame, and you've got a very small area to kind of take as your own. The really neat thing is you're close to that area over there, the sulfur pits. You can go over to the underground zone, sunken forest I think is what it's called. You're not too far away from the other two biomes, but you are protected inside of the city. Now, this is a good spot because you got plenty of building room down here, little ramp you can use to get up and down, and then use that area right here with plenty of resources. There's metal right in that direction and in that direction, and a little bit more over there. And you've got all kinds of trees with water nearby. Pretty awesome for PvE purposes, not to mention you've got yourself a little note right there. Pretty cool that you can have access to that kind of stuff right off the bat, and I'm pretty sure that's a 4x, so that's one of those ones that gives you a huge boost. Now, also, this is another great spot because Rexes spawn here, and they're down beneath you, so you're safe from them, and you can probably tame them really easily. So, pretty awesome spot number 2. Now, let's go ahead and go to spot number 3. Again, it's another spot with slight differences, but you still have those large areas down underneath. You can see it right here. So, right here, nice and flat. This is out in the wastelands at 38.3, 14.2. And it's inside of a bunker, and it's kind of a funky spot because, well, once you get to it, you'll understand what I mean by that. But it's got tons of corrupted around it. However, the corrupted don't actually spawn inside of this area. So unless something gets pulled inside of this, there's nothing that can attack you up here, so you're totally safe up here. These serve as hard walls, so that like literally they can't spawn there. And really the only thing that could cause damage would be a Pteranodon. Man, Pteranodons usually don't spawn unless you see like that guy right there getting dragged in here. So you're completely safe here. A couple of Velonosaurs will knock them out of the sky anyways, and you'll be completely safe. I like this spot because it's huge. You can do all kinds of stuff without building massive walls and making your game super laggy. You can kind of build a few small gates with a couple defensive dinos, and it's a lot of fun because obviously that is a pretty cool little entrance right there. And you're right next to the sunken forest, which is awesome, and the edge of the world. Pretty neat little spot. Now, again, that's for random things. You can use it for PvP too, but I like using it a lot more for PvE in all honesty. Now, spot number 4, another different one. Again, these are kind of like large open spots that I kind of try and key in on for PvE, sorry. Right over here, another spot in the wastelands. This is quite a bit more dangerous, but if you do have some Velonosaurs, it's an awesome spot to have. At 61.7, 16.4. And the reason I like this spot so much, you've got a huge flat zone. You've got a terminal right there. You've got access to all kinds of creatures. And then right on the other side of this flat zone underneath it, you have a massive metal spawn. One of the biggest metal spawns on Extinction, actually. And you can just go underneath this guy right here and get a ton of literally high quality metal. You can see it's all like super shiny. That means you've got high quality meadow over there. Come back with a couple thousand per run. And that is highly, highly useful on this map if you don't have to go very far. Plus access to oil, sulfur, all kinds of stuff over here with Arthroplurus. Now it's a little bit more dangerous, obviously, because you are nearby the corrupted dinos. But on a positive note, once you have defenses running, and that's loud, it's a very, very fun spot to have because you're pretty close to everything that you want to be close to. So pretty cool little spot. Now, again, another flat spot that we're kind of looking for that helps you out a ton when it comes to like getting massive area is this one. Now, this is in the desert biome, 80.7, 81.4. I'll go ahead and kind of like float here so you can kind of see it. Now, right beneath Red Ob, over on this little pillar right here, you've got a nice little area where you're safe from some of those larger dinos down beneath. You've got tons of resources around you. You got water, which can be hard to find in this zone. It's deep enough to actually house certain creatures. You can see it right here. Most underwater creatures can be raised in this area, so that's why I like it a lot. Lots of resources nearby. In the desert biome, though, so it's a little bit more difficult to get to the other sides, but this flat rock, you can destroy those right there, and it's got a ton of really cool opportunity for you to build in this zone. I like this spot. Another one of the ones I typically end up in are having like a little mini base in if I'm building just like PVE on a map. Now, spot number 6. Again, another one with a large platform. So, this guy. Now, this is one of my favorite things to build in PvP because you've got this giant structure at 51.6, 66.5. A lot of people call it the Christmas tree, the world, whatever you want to call it. It has a ton of flat room. You can technically pull water out of this, and that's pretty awesome, obviously, being up this high. And you can see right here that this thing has a bunch of leaves off of it. Now, the highest one is my favorite one to build on because, like, obviously, look at the view you get. You can look in any direction, and it's pretty awesome. You get to look at some neat stuff, like little snow globes all around you. The city's down there. You got the really cool snow globe, and, yeah, pretty neato. Now, you can go one layer up if you like this a little bit more with the little window appearance right there. And it's a neat area. You can have tons of storage on this thing, different levels, do whatever you want with it, and it's got all kinds of space for you. So that is one of my favorite areas to build, literally in PvP as well, because it can be very difficult to raid. Now, again, there's nothing up here that's going to hurt you in any way, shape, or form, but it does give you some awesome views if you're one of those people that likes looking at the scenery around you in Ark. So we'll go ahead and move on to our next spot, another massive zone. This one's apparently spot number 9 because I clicked too early, but whatever. This spot right here, again, I'm trying to get one in each of the biomes for you. I don't like the snow biome at all, but I know that this is, if I was to build in the snow biome, this is where I would go. You're right next to where the wolves spawn, which kind of sucks, but at these chords, 17.9, 87.4, you can see it here. Nice. Flat, easy to hold. You got that city terminal nearby, so you can access that and get the stuff that you want to get. Obviously, you got the vehicles, the enforcers, the scouts, all kinds of stuff in there. And you're close to all of the snow resources, which is nice because you got Manic-Armors, Snow Owls. You can go down there to the water if you really wanted to. This is where the Snow Titan spawns, so you're not actually in its zone. You're up above it, which is pretty useful, obviously. But again, not my favorite spot to be. I don't like the snow biome as much, so you know what, take that for what you will because I don't like it. Now we're going to go ahead and go to the next spot, another spot with a massive area, but it is not the snow biome because I don't like the snow biome. Now again, this is a huge spot. There's all kinds of little crevices and places to put things in this area. This is the oval in the Extinction City. Coordinates at 50.5, 41.3. You can go around this entire thing and build a really cool base. It's probably my favorite thing to do is to build massive bases on this thing, and you can have some really neat designs. Like if you were to put pillars up or just have no reason or like extend your foundation limit, you can build these massive structures in the middle and then like have a really neat thing that comes down to the water down here. And then there's all kinds of little areas that you can kind of like put stuff underneath, like over here. It's just a really awesome zone to build things. I really like this area. You've got access to a note right here. Boop, just like that, the one who waits. And then there's also some really cool little spots like under here you can build. I'll go ahead and show you a really neat spot. that's actually really good for PvP if you're playing on an unofficial map. Underneath this area right here, you can kind of jump over here, and this entire zone over here is all open, and the only spot is to get in from right here. Very difficult to raid. You can't use a racer. You can't really use anything to get inside of this. You've kind of got a pretty safe little area. So that's a really awesome spot. Now, people have a tendency to try and mesh you there in PvP, but again, that's totally not what we're going for. This is the PvE spot. Another one of my favorites. I always end up building in this spot because your access to everything is nearby. You've got water, you're in the middle of the city, you've got literally in the center of the map, so you can go anywhere you want. It's equal distances away, but you've got access to all the important resources. Now, the last spot in this video, just so you can see it, spot number 10, very similar, but it's also another massive, like, open area. I like this spot a lot. It's down in the sunken city. Obviously, you can see it right here. And there we go. I love this spot. I usually have a base spot in each of the biomes, and this is one of my favorite spots because you're next to all the gachas. It's nice and peaceful down here. Here's the chords, 10.7, 30.8, and you've got this giant lake behind you, and it's actually really deep in here, so you can raise anything you want to in here. You've got a ton of flat space in this entire zone. It's very, very nice. I like the sounds of this biome the most because it's like almost quiet, whereas the other ones you get that weird crunchy sound in a lot of them, and I don't like that. It really bothers me. And you've got this massive zone down here with tons of beavers, and you can get a ridiculous amount of cementing paste with this zone in mind. Now, that being said, you could also build down on this island if you really wanted to. I, however, prefer building up next to this lake because you can build like a cool little cliff area up here, and then have like all your stuff down there with like a neat little area up there to overlook all of your valuable stuff that you enjoy. So anyways, these are my top 10 PvE spots for Extinction. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment below, and then go ahead and subscribe to the channel as it helps out a ton. It really does. Thank you very much for watching, and again, make sure you check out some of my other videos. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed it. Teach out.